How do I 28 male unfriend my angry buddy? 28 male of 20 years. I have a group of friends, and most of us have been close with one another for several years. There is one person in the group, who we will call John for the purpose of privacy. John always had a short fuse, but we managed to let it slide. In high school, John was known to be short-tempered. There were rumors that he was verbally abusive with his ex-girlfriends, and sometimes even creepy. We never really believed those rumors, since he never treated us poorly. We only known him to be a bit short-tempered, but never a threat. John deep down always had a good heart. Just a few episodes. Fast forward a few years, everyone in the friend group distanced themselves from him outside of me. They said he's a bit too much, and they couldn't stand his constant negativity. I always felt bad, so I invited him to some of the gatherings, at least once or twice a year. He always starts some kind of drama or arguments during these get-togethers. At this point, I was willing to give him another shot. 2 weeks ago, after not seeing him for over a year, I invited him out to vacation with the whole group, even after the entire friends group were against it, and oh boy, did I regret it. John's temper was unbearable. Every day and every second, he would call us out for every little thing. For example, I went up to the bar to get a beer and came back to the table to be greeted with, "Are you kidding me? You couldn't get me a drink, seriously?" I replied and said, "Sorry, didn't know what you're drinking. Also, the bar was empty." It's not like there was a massive line. That is one very small example, as there are about 100 others just within that week. John started making massive outbursts out of nothing, for no reason. During our vacation, his mood would go from angry to sad in a split second and talk hours on hours about how his life is crumbling, which most of that is due to debt and marital issues. Outside of that, he lives a pretty normal suburban life. The other friends couldn't bear to listen anymore, as we did come here to have a good time. But there I am. I felt bad, so I stuck by him. One of the nights I spent 3 hours listening to him complain about how nothing in life goes his way, and everybody is against him, and how we are his only friends, and he feel like he's losing us too. I replied and said, "You were invited to this vacation, so you can enjoy and be happy with us. No one is against you," which is true, but even after that conversation, he still nitpicked things that he didn't like, and he would start small, petty arguments. One night, he was started to get angry at us because we didn't include him at a small party that was 4 months ago. Soon after that same night, he got upset because we were laughing, and he thought we were laughing at him. I have many more examples, but to make a long story short, he ruined the trip for everyone. We all had the best intentions inviting him. Even though we knew he had some emotional or anger problems, he constantly wants to argue as if he gets joy from it, and then his anger turns to sadness. Eventually, we simply just wanted to enjoy our time. His episodes are getting worse the older he gets. I am worried for him, and I truly hope he gets better with managing his emotions. We all tried to support and help him, but he doesn't believe his outburst and episodes are a problem, when in reality, it ruined most his relationships with the people around him. Now the advice part. After the vacation, everyone in the friend group said that they were done with him. It's been about 2 weeks, and he still contacts me. But I cannot stand his negative personality and his angry outbursts. I am a grown man, and I do not have the time for it, as it is all pointless arguments. He does not know how to be happy and is always looking to argue. One small thing, and he will make it into a massive problem. At this point, I'm wanting to distance myself, but I don't know how, as he constantly texts me with good intention, which does sometimes confuse me. I tried to tell him to get help. He doesn't believe he needs it. I don't feel threatened or scared by him a single bit. He is not a fighter. He is just pissy or sad. I am just tired of the negativity. It is mentally draining. I just need to know how to nicely put some distance between us. I am perfectly familiar with this situation, as we all know. People are not perfect and with their bad traits and character, but this does not mean that the person is bad or worse. He just has his own problems in life that you wrote about in your post. I think that he simply does not have enough attention or support from his side, friends or parents, because considering that because of his behavior, bad traits of his character pop up, this is what he pushes away, his environment. But if you look at it from the other side, it immediately becomes clear that he does not want to take himself in hand, and is not going to change anything around himself at least. I didn't see any mention of this in your post. I completely agree. that he is not a fighter and does not change anything around him, but most likely he just needs a strong kick so that he finally understands that not everything is so bad and that it's time to pull himself together and start changing something in himself and in your position. So I wish you patience and strength. Good luck, friend. Nothing that you will do to put distance between you two will feel nice, neither for you or him. But seems that you need that. Like it seems he need a help from psychologist, even maybe psychiatrist. You can ghost him like others, or you can simply tell him the truth, why PPL abandoning him, and why you also need space from him. You said he has good heart maybe, but he does not show it and he ruined every opportunity to be good. Sorry, but I think he has got a mental issues. He needs help. But do not think you need to be his support throughout that healing process. If he ever decide to seek for help, it would drain you. You are not responsible for his life. He is grown up. I had in my youth friend similar to. That it is just, she was on outside nice and funny all but behind their back. She was envy and toxic and talking so badly and spilling negativity that I could no take it anymore. I was too young and coward to say it to her face. I knew she would hate me, or even be aggressive with words, so I just ghost her. Not nice, but had to do it for my own peace. You can send him a mail, or call him and tell him that. Just first put it on a paper, and try to sound as gently as you can. He is sensitive, and you do not need him to feel like you, accusing him of anything. Imagine that you speak to a very smart child because he is that in his soul. But do not fall for you, own good heart into a trap, and offer to help him. Truth that process. He is not your responsibility, and you do not have to be available for him. If you think he would be suicidal, you should talk to some of had family members if he has anyone, but I am not psychologist, and maybe you should be for all that. Talk to some serious helpline to see what they think about his situation, but whatever you do and will do, put yourself first. Good luck. Story 2. My wife and I have been married for 15 years, with 5 kids, ages 3 to 13. Our marriage has been pretty average, but it has been better than ever over the last year. Sunday night, I went to get a confirmation code from her phone for Walmart Plus, and I see a message that says, "You are so pretty," or "so effing pretty," or something like that. So I click on it and see a thread going back to like 2017, mostly love. Message from the guy, but there were several responses from my wife in there like, when he showed her pictures that he was in New York, she replied that she wished she was there. This guy is telling her how beautiful she is. He says next time she is in town, they should meet up so they can chill. In 2019, she was in his town without me and contacted him to meet up. The love messages from him become more blatant after that. These are short messages, but they are many emoji faces with heart eyes and talking about how beautiful she is at her age. He posts pictures from her social media and says, "Wow, there was a picture of May, family that I took with her, holding my baby in our living room that he posted and said, wow, I messaged the guy from my account, telling him that him and me should meet up to chill if we are in each other's town. I also referenced him with offensive terms. He threatened me back and said what he can call an old friend pretty, and that I must be really insecure. The next morning, I told my wife about what happened, and she said literally every textbook gaslight statement. It was nothing. They were jokes. He does that to all the girls. They are just friends. When I said how could she be friends with someone that sends private love messages to married women with children, she said that I am crazy and insecure. The kids were starting to come out of their rooms for school, and I told them I would be waiting for them in the car. I take 2 kids to school. I texted my wife to schedule marriage counseling for the kids. She sent me a link about how harmful false accusations are from Psychology Today and how she is a Christian woman who only loves me and our family. Marriage counseling turns out to be very hard to arrange in my town, so I ended up taking on the arrangements, but it took a while. We gave each other cold shoulders the rest of the day. The next day, I had to come home from work to switch cars, because I took her van to the shop that day and knew she needed the van for pickup. She was acting somewhat like everything was okay. She said she cleaned out my car, and when I didn't respond, she said it again, and I said thanks. Then she was trying to engage about a few other mundane things, and I wasn't trying to engage. She ended up blasting me with a bunch of text messages, and I forget, but I got the message across in reply that our marriage has no way forward without counseling, and we need to try for the kids. Then she replied about how horrible I am, and how could I throw away 15 years of marriage. Many messages throughout the day about how I could do this to her, and how our house is broken, and I have to come home so she can leave, and she can't stay around someone who hates her so much I could not come home. Because something high-level randomly wound up on my plate at work that I had to complete ASAP. The kids called me and yelled at me for wanting to get a divorce from Mom, that she was laying on the bathroom floor crying. I told them we are not getting a divorce because we love each other and that we are getting counseling to make our marriage better. I stayed on the phone with them while I stopped for pizza to bring home and went home. She stayed on the bathroom floor, then on her bed for the rest of the night, and through morning I went home for lunch to check on her and received the cold shoulder, and sensed even more of a large force field of fear that I should not touch. Last night, I asked to look at her phone and she gave it to me. The asshole had messaged her the morning after talking about how difficult I am. She apologized for my behavior and told him to reiterate that nothing happened between them in case I was snooping on her phone again. He said that normally, people only accuse other people of cheating. When they are themselves cheating, he said, so, I guess we can't be FB friends anymore. And she replied, not until we get some counseling, and the interloper is now blocked on Messenger. At least I should say regretfully while I was doing this. My 13-year-old daughter was yelling at me for looking at my wife's phone and that I shouldn't be snooping on her phone. How she heard Mom talking to her friends during the day about how I am insecure and intrusive in her privacy. So as I scrolled through the thread and in my state of no sleep and food, I said that I wasn't snooping on her phone. I was trying to log into Walmart plus saw these messages and let my daughter have a peek. She seemed to take it okay and understood that this wasn't my fault, and thankfully also did not seem to hold anything against my wife. I only showed her the last couple messages so she could get the idea. You are gorgeous, meow. You are so pretty. Anyway, we have counseling scheduled for tomorrow. I have eaten less this week than in my entire life. In 4 days, I have eaten less than half of what I would eat in a normal day. And I have to take a ton of nighttime cold medicine to get any sleep. But I am still hydrating and exercising and trying to maintain my goals of getting in shape to play baseball next year. Being thankful for the health of my kids has helped the most. I am hopeful that counseling will work. I honestly do not know how I feel like I could cope if my wife had been more understanding about my feelings and thoughtful about finding a path forward. I don't know for sure how far her infidelity went, but I feel like if she had just come done clean and said it was a mistake with how good our marriage has seemed, I would have been able to move forward. I am going to be a hard man to lose because I am brutally honest and capable of many things as a lover and provider. My final decision will come down to whether I can be better for my kids as one family or separated. I love being there for my kids every day, but I do not want to be there for them with decimated mental health. I am just venting because I literally cannot do anything else. I am at work. Maybe I will try to get something done. I am not sure if seeking validation or support on social media is healthy or will help. I feel like these things are sort of an echo chamber, but maybe I kind of need that now. You have no chance to work this out without your wife making the choice to admit everything she has done wrong. Since her first inclination was to leave you, it doesn't seem likely that you will be able to work through your wife's infidelity. Good luck. She doesn't seem like the type to come clean and actually feel remorse for her cheating. It's virtually impossible to believe she didn't have sleep with him when they met, and she appears hell-bent on sticking with the story of denial that she has already crafted. She knows that her lies can be caught by a professional and she cannot manipulate them. Hence, she was trying everything in her books to escape it. Be prepared to get blamed for everything that you may or may not have done. There are high chances that she will deliberately divert the topic to anything else, apart from the actual issue. She's trying her best to make you sweep everything under the rug. Do keep an eye on other communication apps like Snapchat. I think the problem is that your wife doesn't know what emotional cheating is, and even if she knows, she doesn't think it applies to her case. It is possible that she was passive in this relationship and only showered in compliments. It's possible that it was a positive experience for her and her self-esteem. And that's no surprise, but it was done in secret at your expense. Why has your wife never mentioned this relationship in all these years? Why didn't she mention that she saw him in his city? These are the questions you should pass because the answer is simple. She knew. It wasn't fair to you, simple as that.